Those of you that are listening to my audio at the moment, this question is for you. If you can hear me while my squeaky leather swivel chair is creaking. You of course know, not personally, or some of you may know personally, the actor Mel Gibson. He has starred in many films, some very great films, some very psychological, some comical, and downright hard ass. But he's getting old now. He's so old, his face resembles an old carpet, very badly wrinkled. But would I like to be him? No. But his money sounds nice. The films I like of Mel Gibson are Braveheart, the Lethal Weapon series, Payback, which in my opinion is a sequel to Point Blank. I believe that's what it's called, with Lee Marvin. If I illustrate Payback film, those of you who have seen the film, you know what I'm referring to. There's a part where he robs these Oriental characters, because I don't know if they're Japanese or Chinese, Korean or Thai or Thailand or wherever they're from. So I like to use the umbrella term of Oriental. And then he gets ripped up by his partner because he's banging some hoe, and his partner informs his partner, and his partner, it gets complicated. So quite simply, it's Val, who works for the syndicate, is a sadist, a sadomasochist who likes pain. Then you got those ones who are involved in the syndicate. And he goes about getting his money back with sheer ruthlessness, but with a sense of style and finesse. Obviously he's not an arsehole. And one of the many parts I like about it, I suppose the two things I like about the film, the two instances, one where this drug runner turns up and he knocks all, "Come on, Mr. Porter, this is Porter, I ain't gonna die, come on, get up." So he opens the door. "Yeah? Mr. Porter in?" "Mrs. Porter." "Whatever." "Who wants her?" "Who are you?" "I'm Mr. Porter." "Whatever." And this guy sounds like those ones who are part of the dregs of society, who runs drugs, who manipulates people and feeds off people like a parasite. That's what drug dealers are. Filthy little parasites who enjoy ruining people's lives. So eventually gets to the core of the situation, rips out his, I think it's his nose ring, and finds out Mel Gibson has to go to, I think it's called Skegman or Stedman, one of the two. It's an American name, which I can't even pronounce. I think it's Stegman. So he goes there and he encounters two corrupt police officers who obviously are more into bribes and stolen property and actually doing their job, legally that is. And he finds out from Stegman where Farrell Resnick is, so he eventually gets into the hotel which is supposed to be guarded by the syndicate. And Val wakes up and he's got a gun pointed at him. So to cut a long story short, it's an enjoyable film. I liked the film. I know it's violent, but at the end of the time where he meets up with Barrow again, who's just started beating up his former girlfriend, and he gets out a cigarette, gives Barrow a cigarette, says, "No, you got a light? Light? No, no." So he puts a pillow over his head and blows his head off. That's justice. That, in my opinion, is justice. If you rip off a gangster, you'll get treated the same way. If the person can get hold of you and they got a gun. So yeah, Mel Gibson has starred in many violent films. The Lethal Weapon films are very violent. Lots of bad language. In the one where Leo Getz appears, extremely let's just say, you could say it's like verbal prostitution. It's F this, F that all the time. I'm not going to indulge in this gutter language by swearing. Then if you look at it from the other point of view, I mean, Mel Gibson has made different films completely. Some with very lots of bad language, with lots of violence. Some films with no violence and no bad language. It's like that film he made, I can't remember at the moment, it's in the first stages of his acting. I think the woman in there called Piper Laurie, I think that's the one. I think it's called Mel, I'm not sure. But he comes across as a young guy who exhibits kind of simpleton tendencies, a bit, let's just say, withheld mentally, if you get my drift. If you don't, then obviously you ain't got a brain. And so he's very diverse. He can put his acting skills to any situation, even directing. I think he made that film called Apocalypto about the Mayan nation. That was grotesque, or that was extremely OTT. What's the word? He portrayed the Mayans as bloodthirsty, cannibalistic sons of bitches, and they deserve to get wiped off the planet. But at the end of the day, can Mel Gibson actually judge someone else's morals? Well, no, of course not. And so I didn't appreciate this film. So you can imagine, if you listen to my other ramblings, what I do to people that piss me off or offend me, then you'll know what's probably happening to Mel Gibson. But yeah, I mean, he's versatile. It means he's a skilled actor. I can imagine before the situation where he smacked his Czechoslovakian girlfriend, I think she's Czechoslovakian, who really upset Leonardo DiCaprio, and they tend to shut the doors on Mel Gibson about getting a job. But okay, when you get older, you tend to do things that either you regret or you just don't give a toss. So yes, although he's much older and he's done things that a lot of people do not accept or say inappropriate or find offensive, I'll always enjoy watching his films. I'll enjoy downloading through iTunes or somewhere else. He's an enjoyable guy. But yeah, so that's my rambling concerning Mel Gibson. And I hope he makes more films before his soul expires and he dies and maggots and worms and insects of abode devour his flesh while he's being laid into the ground. And when his soul is taken down to the underworld and tortured 24/7, because unless you're chosen to go to paradise, you'll go to the underworld where you're tortured 24/7. And the only consolation is, within 2 years, you forget who you are. You have no memory of who you were when you were alive. and you have no memory to why you're being punished by a demon 24/7 for eternities. The pain is unbearable, but that's life. And everyone who's not chosen to go to paradise goes there. So if you think of all the popes, the Catholic popes, the priest of the Church of England and vicars of the Church of England, all the Jehovah's Witnesses, all the Muslims that are unworthy, they all get shoved down the underworld and get tortured 24/7 by a demon or a number of demons. So yeah, at the end of the day is, if I don't curse you, when your soul expires, you'll go to the underworld. And a lot of people, when they make film, the underworld is never mentioned to a point, because really, the term underworld, the terminology of the underworld and what it means, is not used. I mean, you get the series of film with Kate Beckinsale, who is, wow, she's a babe. Lovely actress, a fantastic body. An interesting aura around her as well, which I've already examined. That's mentioned as the underworld. But no, you don't get the underworld mentioned. It's mainly hell. But then again, you don't get people indulging in hell and damnation. So, I'm Mystery Dagon. I do hope you've enjoyed my indulging into Mel Gibson.